Hi folks, China Guitar Skeptic back, and as promised, a little bit more detail about the MILTON copy from China of the Taylor style K24ce.
So, Fat Man, who is this China Guitar Skeptic fellow?
I have absolutely no idea, but I am going to subscribe to his channel.
Oh, good idea. You know what? I might even join you.
Okay, how you doing? Good to be back again. As promised, I've got another video for you just to have a little closer look at the Taylor copy. And today we'll be having a look at what the issue was with the rattling on the headstock. I'll be taking the truss rod cover plate off, which should be interesting, and also having a look inside the guitar, plus having a bit of a play of the guitar, a playthrough, and I'll put a link if you want to go straight to hear what it sounds like plugged in down below. Thanks as always to everybody who likes and subscribes to these videos and to my channel, and I hope you're going to enjoy this. So anyway, we had an issue with this acoustic guitar when it arrived, and that was in the unboxing video. You heard a huge rattle on the headstock. Well, I worked it out what it was. I took off the truss rod cover plate, which was just a fake. Wasn't that? And then I just fiddled about with the tuners, and they were so loose I could bend them and shake them on the headstock, as you'll see here. They were just absolutely loose and almost hanging off, and in fact the screws on the back of the headstock weren't even properly tight, nor were the bolt washers on the front of the headstock on the face. So anyway, there was nothing at all under the truss rod cover plate, as I suspected, because the truss rod cover adjuster is actually in the sound hole of the guitar where it should be, or at least where I think it should be. You tell me, do Taylors have the adjustable truss rod in the body or in the headstock? I'm not absolutely sure. I've never taken one off, and I didn't look that closely at the few that I've played. So I'm sure it could be the other way around, in fact. Anyway, I took off the tuners and quickly saw, as you'll see in this photograph, why it was that they were rattling. Not only were they loose, but also they were very, very poor fitting. The holes for the tuners had been drilled way too large, and so there was a big gap that allowed them to move around even when they were tightened down. So I had to fill that gap with something, so I took several strips of insulating tape, here shown in blue, and I wrapped it around the tuners to fill that gap, that nasty gap, and then replaced them and tightened them down again. And although the actual tuning pegs are relatively loose on their gearing, it did solve the issue of the rattling, so that was good news. While the strings were off, though, I took the opportunity to have a little closer look at the guitar, and I had a little look inside, and here's a little bit of video looking inside. Excuse my terrible masking tape adjustment to these wires. I wanted to make sure that the wires were out of the way and didn't show through the sound hole, and as well as tight bonding on the battery and the EQ control box, I also taped down these wires. One of the things that taking the strings off and having a look inside told me was that this is definitely a laminate finish on the guitar, both back, front and sides. The simple reason I know this, apart from having taken out one of the control knobs and looked closely at the pictures, which show fairly self-evidently a laminate top sandwiching a internal biscuit and then a final laminate inside. Now, I don't know why they would do that. I guess so that people think that it is a one piece, but clearly I'm pretty sure that this is not solid Koa. Even if it is Koa, I'm not even sure about that. I'll let you tell me what you think in the comments down below. But looking at this, I could easily see that it wasn't, because of the fact that the top itself, instead of just being a book matched piece, was actually 4 pieces. So 2 pieces book matched. They were still book matched, and I guess that could be standard practice. Again, I'll defer to some others' better judgment on that. But it certainly showed me that the laminate inside was not exactly the same grain as the laminate outside, because there were only 2 joins inside and 3, making 4 pieces on the outside. While it was also opened up, I also, you might notice in the video actually that the battery had come off despite me tight bonding the Velcro connection, so I've got to redo that again at some point. But what I did look at was the piezo pup connection, the bridge transducing pickup, because when I originally tried it out, it didn't pick up the low E string properly, and I wanted to try and take it out and move it along a bit so that it was sitting under the saddle in the E string to cover both E strings. But what I found was that the actual connection to the piezo pickup was or piezo, whatever you want to call it, and everybody calls it something different, was so thin I couldn't actually push the bedded pickup out from underneath the saddle. The bridge rather, the saddle. And so I wasn't able to move it, so I had to put the strings back on. The bracing inside the guitar looks okay, but fairly cheap. What the top, looking closer at the top, did show me is there's some nasty finishing on the gap right out to the edge extremities, which is a shame, but there we are. So yeah, hopefully this gives you a better idea of what this guitar looks like close up. And I also took a bit more of a close-up shot showing you the neck, or the fretboard I should say, and how poorly that has been constructed. The inlays and the actual neck wood I've not been particularly impressed with here. So let me know what you think. Anyway, I put some strings on it. I put a set of the Martin 8020 bronze lights on it. They're a gauge 12 to 54. One of my favourite gauges of acoustic strings. They are lights by comparison for acoustics, but they give quite a nice broad tone. What I've done here, coming up next, is a little demonstration and playthrough through the pickup. Only through the pickup, direct into the board, and I begin by just playing some open strings and giving you a demonstration of the volume, the bass control, which has a low shelf or low boost, and the treble control, which has a high shelf or high boost, and hopefully you'll hear where each of those is demonstrated. And then I just do a little bit of a playthrough, a noodle around. Please, again, I'm not showing off my playing. I understand my playing's poor. I even messed up 316, for goodness sake. But this is not about my playing. This is to give you a demonstration of what it sounds like. And you'll also hear I demonstrate how that each of the different strings has different pickup volumes, and that the low E string is not properly picked up by the piezo electric pickup. So have a little listen to this, enjoy. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll be back soon with another video.